And the MIT students are like, wait, I wasn't getting it, but it sounded good. I know, right? Let's go. Well, top of the afternoon to you. It's true, crypto. The prophets of rage! Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money cannot afford to lose. Hello, my name is Wayne McDonald. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Welcome to the Forex.Today YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our community of more than 15,000 foreign exchange traders all around the world. We like to gather as a community this time of the day to align our satellites, synchronize our watches, and get our pippin' on. Yeah! Can I get a amen? Amen. So, today we're going to do technical analysis, fundamental analysis. I'll cover the euro, the Great British Pound, the US dollar, the Japanese yen, maybe a Swiss franc, I don't know. The Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, gold, oil, and Bitcoin. And if I didn't cover it, you may ask. I will take requests. Hey, you can pop $1 into the tip jar. Boom. And maybe I'll review your setups for you. Hey, how about that? Sounds great, huh? Wow. So, what else is going on? It's Thursday. So, what? Weekly jobless claims? Yep. We could talk about the CPI yesterday. Yup. All that kind of stuff. Sure. Whatever you want to do, it's your way here. Take notes, get involved, write down and document what you learned in the recordings. Please like and again subscribe to this channel. If you like the video, what you're telling YouTube is this is quality content. Okay, maybe it's not as exciting. Wait, I just got a warning from YouTube. Not streaming very well. What? Anyways, maybe I'm not as fun and exciting as the crypto guy with 30,000 people watching him, but I'll actually teach you how to trade. Hang on, why is my Wi-Fi down? It's not down. Maybe it's my processor again. Very strange. I just down here on the software it says it's not receiving much data. I'm like, dude, I have 1,000 megabits per second, so it should be fine. So I don't know what's up. Maybe it's time I have to just throw this computer away and just start anew. Most likely it's another Windows update. My son got a Windows update yesterday on his new gaming rig that I bought him, and I'm like, oh no, you got a Windows update. He's like, what? And then my wife walks in and she's like, oh no, you got a Windows update. And he's like, what? Shouldn't it make it work better? I'm like, no, it'll work worse. No, Microsoft is screwing you up with the Windows update. No, the Windows update of death. Anyway, so he's learning. Young man's learning his way in this world. So anyways. So this was our trade plan yesterday. Look how complicated this was, right? This is our trade plan yesterday, and I said, yeah, you wait for it to come back to the 21 and take it north. Done. How many people actually... Oh, sorry, you can't see. Sorry. TradersWay.com is a broker. You're a Forex trader. TradersWay.com, get together today. Open up a demo account. Let them earn your loyalty and respect. You need a good broker. TradersWay.com. Boom. Okay, we're back here. Yesterday, I went through this with you over and over and over again, and we were here in this circle, and I said, look, here's the trade plan. Buy it off the 4-hour, you're done. How many people actually did it? I said you could use the moving averages, you could use the pivot points or whatever. You know, we even talked about old school FX bootcamp stuff where you're a bull here, so you buy it here, you take profit here, you buy it here, you take profit here, you buy it here. All that kind of stuff. How many people actually did it? So this is to all the hecklers that log in and are like, he never pulls triggers, he never shows his trades. You know, dude, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter. Right? Wouldn't matter. This was silver spoon stuff. Opened on the London Open. Yeah. So anyways, there you go, bro. Bro! There you go, bro! So it's already looking at tomorrow. Now, you have to ask yourself, will it maintain its bullishness? And you'll use different charts for that. But this is what it's suggesting in the future. Okay. Once again, you don't know if it's going to happen, so you need to do your job. You need to either buy it Asia or buy it London Open. Okay. But here's the thing. We were here yesterday and like fizzled down to the 21 and up if you're a bull. That's what your plan would be. And that's that. I don't know about nothing. I don't know nothing about no pips. Okay. But yeah, drop the mic stuff. But I mean, honestly, right? That's where you got to slap yourself on the butt and say, giddy up. Come on, Bubba. Right? Kiwi is one of these that is just stuck in the mud, aka doji. So I guess if you looked at this as a monthly doji, maybe 2 dojis in a row, 2 monthly dojis, right? Yeah, well, okay. The way we trade this then is you say it's range bound. You use oscillators, and that's about that. That's about that. And then you throw in sort of, you know, like pivot point theory. You know, the first minute of the week, that's a sell. You know, the first minute of the week, that's a buy. And what do you do here at 70? Nothing. Maurice says, Fed abandoning a strategy of preemptively lifting interest rates to head off higher inflation, blah, 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 blah. Stop. Whoever you read this stuff, stop reading it. Okay? The Fed's not going to do anything for at least 8 months. So, if you're getting headline news about, oh, the Fed, no, stop it. Just stop it. I know I know wherever you're reading this, they're like, oh, the inflation expanded at a faster rate since any time since 1991, and all the printing of the money and all the fiscal stimulus and all this is going to create incredible inflation and the blah 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 blah. Stop reading that. It's nonsense. It's absolute total nonsense. Okay? Now, if this was 20 years ago, maybe it would have been a valid, maybe in 1991 that was a valid point of view, but we don't live in 1991. I know I dress like I live in 1991. Okay? But no. No, dude. Just stop it. Okay? Not your fault, but turn it off. Okay? Unplug. Don't believe the hype is unequal. Can I get this through to you? My 98s are booming in my trunk with funk. All you punks can't stop my dunks. Don't believe the hype. Huh? Don't believe the hype. Yeah. Eric B and LL, well hell. Rockers for Anthrax, still like a rock bells. Yeah. Yeah. No, 90s were pretty good, man. I had a good time in the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure, eh? Okay, M2, M4, central PP should go to R2. Okay, so let's see the weekly trade plan. I passed on all of these. I just wasn't ready. It's okay. It's okay. Remember, I looked at all the setups on Sunday, and I just didn't take them, and okay, now they're waking up. Great. Don't worry about it. I'll catch the next one. But this is suggesting this area. So I would think 77 and then out. Okay. So to put this into, sort of digestible pieces, the central pivot point predicts this on a weekly. Okay. And this predicts, somewhere between M4 and R2 monthly, but we're still in the plan big, expect small. So in that scenario, R1 has a lot of meaning to us, and that's the R1. So you combine a bunch of things and yada, yada, yada. If you only had an Andrew's pitchfork, you'd know. Okay. So up for a while, I'd be cautious around 77. I'd sort of regroup around 77. Okay. Okay. Peter says, why in 8 months would the Fed not even do anything? Well, think about something very important that is going to happen in the United States within 8 months. Can you think of it? What is going to happen in the United States in the next 8 months that would be very, very, very important? What is the event risk? Oh, the election. Oh, you think, eh? Oh, for sure. Okay, so being non-political, they've set all their things. And by the way, we did talk about this back in, I don't know, months ago, that they had to do whatever they had to do to respond to COVID, because eventually, by the time they get to the June meeting, they cannot make any other changes in policy. Do you guys remember this? I said once we hit the June meeting, June 10th or something, the Fed cannot make new policies and changes. They would have to be forced by like an absolute total collapse of the economy because of COVID or something. But barring that, there is nothing the Fed will do or even really truly can do. How many people remember that? Because they need to be completely independent of politics. Okay? So you have to remember this, guys. It's the way money works. Okay? Brian says the event risk is Biden gets elected. To me, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, it doesn't. On the short run, it doesn't matter. On the long run, it'll matter, but on the short run, it doesn't matter. Well, so Morris says, so everything stays the same. The policy will stay the same. So what did I say, guys, back when the Fed said they cannot or will not cut interest rates any further? What did I say then? June 12th, yes and no, because Powell hates Trump and Trump hates Powell. Oh, Morris. Oh, my God. Fed printing unlimited amounts. Oh, man. I'm telling you, you got to unplug. You're so biased. You need to be unbiased when it comes to the economy. So the language here, the Fed printing unlimited amounts of money and interest. Oh, yeah. Well, no, dude. No, dude. No, come. We got to clean your filter, dude. And I don't mean that, I'm not insulting you. I'm like, but you're coming from such a point of view that you're going to view the market skewed, right? So this whole idea of the Fed printing unlimited, no, dude. Okay, first of all, you should know what their policy is. Their policy isn't printing unlimited amounts of money. Okay? Yeah, so Peter says yes, right? That the US dollar will be weak for the next 5 years. That's what I said. So the question is, so will things stay the same because the Fed won't adjust their policy? Well, I don't know what same means to you. You might say same like, oh, I guess nothing's going to happen. No, I didn't say that. I said we have a macroeconomic fundamental trend in play that on the long term will weaken the dollar. Okay. Halam says, how do we identify our biases and overcome them? First thing is turn the TV off and do your own work. Okay? That would be the very first thing. You have to earn it. No one is going to pay you money because you are going to spew out opinions you heard on CNBC, Bloomberg, and Fox Business. Okay? You have to do your own work. That's the first thing. You have to completely rely on your work. So where do I get my news from? Bloomberg, CNBC, or Fox Business? Does anybody know? Do I get my opinion, or do I get my news from Wall Street Journal, Investor Business Daily, Financial Times, Nikkei Weekly? Where do I get my viewpoint, or not my viewpoints? Where do I get my data set? Anybody know? Yeah, I actually gather the data points. No, not FX Street. The actual reports. And the charts, sure, but before the charts are after the fact. Mostly central banks. But, you know, like when CPI comes out, I can look at the trend of CPI. When PCE, which is much more important, comes out, I can look at that. Okay? I look at balance of trade data. Anything, any data set, but then I fold that into my opinion, because my opinion comes from, if I was the head of the Reserve Bank of Australia, if I was the head of the Reserve Bank of South Africa, if I was the head of the Reserve Bank of Canada, if I was the head of the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, if I was the head, you know, I would look at all this stuff, okay? I'd look at the data that would impact that economy and say, if I was running the central bank of that economy, and so first of all, I need to know economics. Second of all, I need to know the economics of that particular economy and what they would do. And then from then, how would I respond if I was in charge? Okay? Okay? You see? So when I do things like explain in great detail how the Reserve Bank of India is responding to rupee strength, and well, why the rupee got strong and how the central bank responded to that strength. Well, first of all, you have to know they don't want a strong rupee. And you're like, what? Wait, isn't a strong currency good and a weak currency bad? No. That's what the idiots on the TV talk about. When you hear the weak dollar is bad for the U.S. economy, you're like, dude, you have no clue. I mean, maybe they took an economics class in elementary school, but they don't get it at all. You're like, wow, really? Is that what you think? Okay. So anyways, strong doesn't mean good. Weak doesn't mean bad. It really depends on the type of economy you had. And remember, we have this global symbiotic economy that, right? There are buyers and sellers, and one is good for the other. So anyway, so once you understand that, you know way more than the guys on TV or the gals on TV managing 100 million, 300 million, 800 million, 2 billion. You know more than many of those. And I can tell by the way that they analyze. And the sad thing is what happens is they talk to clients. So the best way to kind of get a client on board is to, I don't know, scare the bejesus out of them. Okay. Peter says, and that's called geopolitical. No, but there is a subset of economics which I really like, and it's called international political economy. So think of like Mohammed Al-Arian and Brenner, what's his name? Ian Brenner? Think Ian Brenner and Mohammed Al-Arian mixed together. Okay? And if you don't know who that is, or those guys, if you don't know who those guys are, you need to start Googling fast. Ian Brenner. Brennan? Is it Brennan? I thought it was Brenner, but anyways. Okay, so anyways, you got to know your stuff. That's all I'm saying. Okay, you got to know your stuff. You're the boss. You're the brains. You're the one people invest into. They don't buy the markets. They buy your time. So make sure you can carry your own weight. Okay? So anyways, Euro's moving up, setting up for next week. Great, cool, right on. Opened out a position for the month. That's why I walked away from it. Once again, it was an all right open at the beginning of the month. It was an all right open at the beginning of the week. But I didn't have the confidence in the market at that time. I didn't have confidence in the setting, that kind of stuff. But like the first minute of the week, we were right here. And I'm like, nah. So I passed. Usually I take a shot like that. And you know, did I pay the price? Well, I threw away the opportunity. But I wasn't convinced. You know, I wasn't convinced. Let's do it this way, if it'll let me draw it. I wasn't convinced this was going to make a higher high. I understand this was up, but this wasn't up. And then I look at it and I say, well, we're in the second week of August, and I'm really stuck in the middle. If you think about it like this, we're essentially, you know, nearing an apex. And I'm like, you know, I see the trade, but it doesn't really help me because we kicked off here. So it doesn't really help me. This could go down as much as it could go up. And at the end of the day, I walked away because I wasn't convinced I'd make easy money. And so you might look at it and say, well, you missed out on this great opportunity. And I'm like, well, I protected my capital in uncertain times. Okay? What's this idiot that keeps posting about if you send him 5,000 and then text him, he gets money? Can somebody get rid of this dude? What a waste of everyone's time and life at force. All right. Thank you. What did you think, Peter? Were you gonna send him? Were you thinking about sending him money? Apparently, if you sent him $5,000, he'd take care of you. Were you on the cusp? Like grabbing the wallet? Hey, send it to my Bitcoin account. It's amazing, huh? Yeah, just amazing, isn't it? The way I see it, though, is it's so sad. And, of course, none of you guys just saw it, but we're getting spammed and spammed, and our awesome administrative crew shut that down. But how desperate people must be to just spam and, you know, willingly, like openly, willingly plan the day like I'm going to steal money from people. But then you have to think of how desperate they are and what world they must live in. And then the sad thing is someone always sends the money. It's so you can almost think like, who can blame them? Right, so anyways. Steven says, yeah, it's easy to say you missed an opportunity after the fact. No, I said it actually on Monday, but I didn't know if it would go. So it's just I missed it. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, I guess so, Peter. What do you think, Steven? Gary says, yeah, they're working from their jet. Well, the thing is, you know, the guys that sell their jet, I mean, I'm sure they have a training course and a methodology and stuff. And I'm sure they're, I mean, whatever. But someone just straight up like trying to scam you and steal your money, that's pretty sad. Yep. Well, no, but I talked about it right on Monday morning. I think the first thing I talked about was, you know, I just didn't have confidence in the market, in particular this time of year. When I said I had setups, but I didn't take them. I swear, it was like the first thing I talked about on Monday. I saw the setups 12 hours earlier on Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. And even though they were valid, I just didn't take them because I didn't have the confidence. That's right. So I lost the opportunity, but I didn't lose money. So I don't know. Take it to each his own, I suppose. So I talked myself out of good trades. It's true. Okay. So this is why you don't just swing trade. This is this is why you day trade as well. Okay. So like, I guess we're going to lose this, but like, let's focus on this price action. This was better. This is one we actually talked about last week because I said you need to make a decision on oil, right? You need to make a decision on oil. Are we going to 60 or are we going to 30? Yeah, so here's the thing, right, Stephen? Like, it was an emotional decision because it wasn't logical. Like in this case, I want it to go down. I think it's going to go down. I know the reasons it'll go down, but emotionally, I'm like, I said it wasn't a good time of the year, and maybe I just wasn't that aggressive. Maybe I was just tired from finals and all that kind of stuff, right? But here's the thing. So maybe there is a little logic though, because I don't look at it just as like pure emotion here. I look at it like I've been in the situation 20 years in a row. And very often it doesn't drop. This year it did, but in many years it didn't. And having seen my own sort of trading, I have not had great results this particular week out of the year. It's been at least mediocre, but there have been some times where a great trend just fizzled out and didn't do anything, right? So it is baggage, of course. But I'm also thinking like 3 weeks from now will be awesome trading. Well, not as awesome as previous years. Once again, I see multiple years. And I know this year's a political year, so I should probably temper my enthusiasm because of that event risk changes market conditions and expectations and all that kind of stuff. But this year is different from, you know, the other 4-year cycle. So I'm in year 4 of a 4-year cycle. So I have to like take into account what I do every year and then what I've done all past years. And then I have to pop in 4-year cycles inside of that. And then inside of that, that this year may be different than 4 years ago and 4 years before that and 4 years before that because it's not the same. But there's some, you know, there's got to be some similarity. So maybe I played it too conservative here, but no, you know, on the long run, no one will see it, right? Like if someone's looking at your trading history, they don't see the trades you don't take. Okay. So anyways, so all that goes in there. I have nothing to lose by not trading on a week that I don't feel confident in. Does that make sense? So anyways, yeah, I suppose, you know, too, Steve, is, you know, you carry with you all 20 years, right? I mean, think of it. It's 2,000 weeks probably 50 hours a week. So it's like 100,000 hours of good, bad, and ugly that I carry with me. So this one I missed, bro. Right, this one I missed. But we did set it up and we did talk about it. That's why I'm saying like, oh, but I also know that what I knew here was okay, maybe, yeah, it was all valid. Maybe, like I said, maybe I was just tired from doing final exams week. Like, whatever. There's all kinds of excuses. The thing is, I didn't make money on that. But it fit everything that I wanted. Kiwi, like, for example, I don't have confidence in being a bull. So it's like one of those things, right? USD CAD falls, but Kiwi USD didn't go up, you see? And you're like, well, mixed bag. So I just, good, bad, or ugly, I talked myself out of it. Because if USD CAD falls, Kiwi dollar is supposed to go up, right? And well, this ain't going up, so like, well, which one do I know is right? So I don't know. Maybe that falls in there too, right? Because you have to think about it. At the exact same time we were here, and I didn't buy it. So I didn't lose money here. But I also thought USD CAD would fall, but I didn't trade that. But I could have made money there. So either way, if I had done what I normally do, I would have longed this, sold USD CAD. I would have made money here. I would have lost money here, and nothing would have happened. So I'm like, well, I gained the same by doing nothing, right? But yeah. If oil is up, CAD would be strong. That's right. And that's why I said early in the week, you need to make a decision. Is oil going to 60 or is oil going to 30? And that will determine your direction. And from that decision, I explained 20 different trades you could take. You see? So, Gary says, a bit messy this week, swings. Well, not for me. Right? I mean, you're right, but maybe I'm not in those, right? So, anyways. I am probably going to be tempered on Monday as well, or Sunday. And then much more serious as we tiptoe into the end of the month and into September and into the next Fed meeting and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just sort of at let's say, the bottom of the trough as far as aggressiveness. Right? This week being the exact bottom of the trough. And next week we'll be climbing back up on aggressiveness. Think of me as VIX right now. My VIX is low, but VIX is preparing to rise. Okay. Mina says, hey, thanks. My goal is to learn to read the market well. That's everything I'm trying to teach you, both technically and fundamentally, okay? So subscribe and ask questions, and maybe in the next 12 to 15 years, I'll get you where you want to go. Gary's like, I was very selective too. I mean, really, that's just our job, right? So like, Gary, if you were working for me, maybe this week we're all in like on a beach in Malaysia and we're talking about what we want to do between now and the end of the year, and we're doing idea sharing, and we bring in a consultant to talk about, you know, composition of boards at central banks, and we bring in an athletic coach or a pro athlete that talks about how to train and how to keep focus and how to turn the A game on, and you know, all these different things. And we just sharpen our saw this week of the year. Okay. How many people find that would be great? we're in Malaysia, we're having parties at night, but during the day, you know, we get like a green beret to talk about focus and discipline. And then the next night we have a guest speaker who's a professional athlete. And the next night we have a guest speaker, and they are, and like I said, an expert on the Fed, Board of Governors, and the FOMC committee. And they can go through person by person by person and explain their personalities as well as maybe their political lean. And you get to know the decision makers personally. You're like, wow, yeah. Like, how many people get excited about that stuff? Right? I mean, it's funny. I laugh at myself because most people don't care about these things. But the old story is I went to Jekyll Island and we stayed at the old hotel there where that JP Morgan and his friends built. The inside the old hotel is a meeting room where JP Morgan and his friends created the Fed, the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States of America, was created in that particular room. And while I'm checking in, so I'm telling my wife, like, I've always wanted to go to Jekyll Island, and I've always wanted to see the Fed room, where JP Morgan created the Fed. And she's like, yeah, sounds like a snoozer. I'm like, no, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So we get there, and unbeknownst to me, so I rent the penthouse suite. And it's crazy if you've ever seen this place. And so we pull up, and I got my brand new Mercedes convertible. Like, we're here, right? Woohoo, Jekyll Island. My wife's like, snoozer, blah. Anyway, so we go in, and they're like, I'm sorry, sir, but your room's not ready. And I'm like, son of a biatch, it's 4 o'clock. You said I have access to the room at 4. Well, and the manager leans in. We are very sorry, sir, but there's a secret meeting going on this weekend or this week with members of the Fed. I'm like, the Federal Reserve's here? They're like, yeah, they hold secret meetings here. I'm like, no way. So what does this have to do with my room? And the guy looks like this, looks left and right, leans in again. Well, Ben Bernanke is in your room right now. He's been spending the whole week there, and he hasn't checked out yet. I'm like, oh my God! Oh my God! Ben Bernanke's in my bed? And my wife's like, dude, seriously? And I'm like, this is awesome! This is awesome! So he's like, well, if you just hang out by the bar for an hour or so, we'll give you free cocktails. I'm like, will you also give me a tour of the Federal Reserve Room? Will you just let me in so I can hang out in the room where the Fed was created? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So we go to the bar, we get our cocktails, and locks my wife and I into the room with our cocktails. And I look at her, I'm like, oh my God, are you thinking what I'm thinking? She's like, it smells old. And I'm like, no, we should make love. Look at this. And she's like, hey, no way. What are you? I'm like, oh, come on. We're locked in the Federal Reserve Room. This is the reserve room where they made the Fed. Come on. Let's make love. Yeah. She thought about it for half a second. I'm like, oh, I love you so much. So anyways, actually, I played her down. She's really, really cool. She was into it, but not nearly as much as, let's say, an econ nerd, because literally I was super unbelievably excited. So I'm not joking. Like, if we're in Bali or Malaysia or something, we're on this beach, and we brought in an expert to go through all the personalities of the FOMC members, I would actually be totally into that. I'm like, tell me all about Mister. Mister's a woman. Yeah. So I would get excited about that kind of stuff, right? I would totally. St. Lucia? Oh yeah. I know people have been to St. Lucia. It's nice. Yeah, I mean, let's do that. I want to go to Cuba. I want to go to St. Lucia. I can take you guys to Nevis, stuff like that. We could do a whole Caribbean tour. But we have to do Cuba first and then zip over to the Eastern Caribbean. Okay? I mean, I'm telling you, man, this is going to get good. It's going to get really good if you know how to trade. St. Kitts, sure. I prefer Nevis for sure. But St. Kitts is aight. But Maida's taking us to Cuba. And she's going to let us use her internet on her phone. We're all going to tether to her cell phone. Cool. Gary, can you get us a good deal? Like an amazing deal? Like, do you know one of the hotels if we come in slightly off season or something like that? Yeah, Haiti's got some good deals. Well, you know, the DR is great. Then you cross the borders, but the Caribbean's kind of like that too. It's really interesting. Like one island is English, and then you go to the next island and it's Spanish, and then you go to the next island and it's French, and then you go to the next island and it's Dutch. Like, wow, really? Well, I can go to Cuba because I'm Canadian, so I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. All right, cool. So let's move on.com. Let's do some biddy. What time frame is the big question? Like, obviously, what happened 4 weeks ago is irrelevant to where we are now. So let's kind of break down the biddy. Let's start with like monthly. Puerto Rico. Yeah, I'd probably lean towards Dominican Republic. I'd probably do the DR over Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. So Gary says, yeah, definitely I can do that. Seriously, we'd need a conference room, like a big one, like almost enough for like, what if 200, what if 300 people show up? Let's say the first year there's only 100. So we need a space for 100 people and a kick-ass DJ and a stage. And then we need an awesome beach. We need an awesome pool. We need cheap and convenient and clean and nice housing for 99 people. And then one amazing penthouse for me. And easy to the airport. Where did I do my undergrad? It's a little private school. You haven't heard of it. It's in Cambridge. It's called Harvard. Harbor Club. All right. So now you got to get us like the 70% off deal. Okay. So awesome. Make it happen, Gary. What did Ryan say? Kick down my door. Now, we also planned something very similar for South Africa and Cape Town. And then my life got all gobbledygoo with grad school. And now we got COVID and all that kind of stuff. But I want to hit Cape Town hard. I got this giant thing planned up, but it might be not for Forex, but for those that want to become hedge fund managers. So the original idea for that is we get the same thing. We get a beach, we get a hotel, we get awesome food. And I teach you everything you need to know about starting a hedge fund, managing a hedge fund, getting regulated and registered and all that kind of stuff. But also work on your elevator pitches and all that kind of stuff and work on your presentations. And then I had this idea where we all jump in helicopters and we fly out to wine country. And I teach you how to hang out with billionaires and how to start conversation with billionaires and so on and so forth. So we're out there in the vineyard, we're drinking wine, you're swirling around and you're like, ooh, look at the legs on this and the bouquet, right? and get you to the point where you can actually talk intelligently and slip Forex into the conversation. Like, right? That kind of stuff. And we have it all planned out numbers wise and everything. Just life got complicated. But that's something I'd like to do. I don't know about Kenyatta. All right, so anyways, let's do some biddy. Yeah, so first of all, you have to say up or down, right? Yeah, Julie, we had the exact hotel and everything, and the prices and the contracts. I got them somewhere. I already got the contracts, like no joke. So yeah, so Henley put a lot of time into it, and unfortunately, just didn't get done. But it doesn't mean it won't get done. Okay, so you have to think up or down. So I'm going to start with maybe just a confluence, and we'll see. Okay. So here we are, monthly pivots, and they don't seem to be doing anything for us. Okay. Monthly pivot predicted this nicely. So on and so forth. This predicted that nicely. But the monthlies don't seem to be that great. So let's just confirm which one's here. Weekly. So it's the other one. So if it's not helping, it's hindering. Okay. So now let's move into like a 4 hour. Okay. What is it saying? On the 4 hour, we're expecting a reversal. Okay. It's not my opinion. This is what it says. Okay. Not my opinion. I'm not predicting this. This is what it says. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be fun, Julie. But that one, I didn't want to make it a Forex trading conference. I wanted to make it a hedge fund, incubator, and marketing program. Cool, right? Oh, here's a fundamental question. What economy or which countries get better with a strong currency? Well, what does a strong currency do? I mean, you have to ask that. How does it benefit you? And then you have to ask yourself, how would it hurt you? Okay. Okay. We'll get to that, Stevie. We're putting some last tweaks and twists on it. You'll probably hear from us today. All right. So I suppose what we're looking at from this point of view, taking that same knowledge, okay, is like this. You see how that fits the future? Wish they had a better blue. How come they don't have navy blue? So silly. So you would look at it kind of like this. Oh yeah, it's already in the works, Master Trader. Already in the works. But that, right? Already. They're like, so I've already focused on this in the past, and oops, and I put most things dormant while I was away at school. But leveraging this idea of having an incubator. So this would probably be what would run the South African stuff. It's not about trading. It's about marketing and growing your fund. Right. So once you're a good trader, there's a lot of stuff you need to do. So this is old. This is like a 10-year-old company. But like, look at all the stuff. Once you decide you got to go pro, you got to get a legal structure. You got to get your logo and brand. You got your business cards, your letterhead, your embroidery for shirts and hats, core values identification, website development, client contact, database development, investor presentations, PowerPoint presentations, elevator pitches, client intake process, client account opening and onboarding process. You have to develop your back office. You got to get your money manager registration, your trading brokerage set up, quarterly performance tables, fund program prospectus, disclosure documents, calculating all your high water marks, go through business ethics training, get your Series 34 training, and blah, 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 blah. And on top of that, you already have to be an amazing trader, but you might get to this and say, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh my God. You have to be able to trade better than anybody else in the world and run a small business. And you're like, oh my God, really? Run a small business? Yeah. Yeah, and you're going to have accountants and lawyers and compliance people. And you don't know how to do that? You can't run your own fund. And on top of all that, you got to be the world's greatest trader. Like, that's it. That's it. Okay, so anyways. So that's what this is saying. Remember, I'm not saying down. I'm not saying I think this is going to go down. This is just what the chart says, in particular on the 4-hour. Doesn't say it on the daily. So let's take a look if anything meaningful changes. No, same sort of thingamabobber. And you can see it's almost like a head and shoulders if you look at it from this time frame. A little bit. This is more of a crown. So remember, let's delete this now. A head and shoulders looks like this, right? A crown is a little different. It looks like this. All right? And it's this lower low that sets up the lower high. And that's why there's a lower high sort of set up here. And again, it's just in the charts. It's not even, I don't have an opinion on this. That's just what it says. Okay? Master Trader says, what brokerage and stuff. So I had someone like, I was talking to them, 2 years ago, I think when FXCM went out of business in the United States, and I was talking to a Forex trader in somewhere in Europe. And they had $200 million at FXCM in London. I'm like, you have $200 million? It was either 200 million or 20 million. I can't remember. It was a lot of money. Let's say 20 million. Let's dumb it down. They had $20 million at FXCM. I'm like, really? FXCM. a retail Forex broker. No, no, no. Well, we have an institutional account. I'm like, dude, it's the same account. What are you talking about? So anyways, it was 20M. And I said, no, you probably got to pull it out of there. FXCM just lost the whole United States business. And, you know, I don't know if there are legal problems. I don't know if they're going to get sued. I don't know what their money is like. And you should probably you should seriously consider moving your money. And they're like, no. And they totally ignored me. I'm like, okay. So there's that. So we can change the point of view. And so let's say it looks more bearish, right? So let's look for a bearish swing down, okay? And as you can already see, next week, you're selling right in here. Next week, based on current market conditions, on Monday, you might be selling this somewhere in there. And you might even already have sold, and you're done. Master Trader, to answer your question about FXCM, they've been fined a few times. There's different reasons, but I'll tell you what I remember. Because I used to be a registered money manager for FXCM in the United States and FXCM in London. So I've worked with them in the past. So one day I got this email and it said, they've changed their policy. They will now slip for us as well as and no longer just against us. And I'm like, who sent this email? But I guess it was required by the regulators because it was a terrible email to have to say, like, you know, our new policy is not just to slip against you, but no, we'll slip for you as well. Wait, you've been slipping all my trades? And that's the oldest trick in the book, by the way. So I don't know what they do now, but that's the oldest trick in the book, where they're like, you can have a spread of just 0.00001 pips. But of course, when you pull the trigger at 132.04, then you would think you're only paying 132.040001 is where, right? No, but what happens is you pull the trigger at 132.04 and you actually get put in at 132.050001. So what was your spread? Or 6 or 7. So I'm not saying they did this, but brokers definitely do this, where they're like, we'll give you the lowest spread in the world, practically free spreads. And then every time you pull the trigger, it slips 3 pips. Or 5, or if you're going with a broker like that, they slip you 4 pips, 5 pips, 6 pips, whatever. And you're still paying the wide spread, but you're like a fish with a hook in its mouth. You're like, really? That's a really cheap spread. I think I'll go with a broker because it's got a really small spread. You're like, dude, really? You got suckered into that? You swallowed the whole hook. You look for the cheapest? You look for the cheapest. You're going to build $1 billion Forex empire and you're looking for the cheapest broker? That's your process. Cheap. Cheap people don't make billion-dollar businesses, right? So you got to have the best. So that's why, like, when I look at Trader's Way, they're fast, the costs are competitive, the income they pay on the swaps is higher, right? When I pull the trigger, they execute it into the interbanking system. So, like, why did FXCM go out of business in the United States? Well, why did El Pari go out of business? Because with the Swiss National Bank debacle, when they pulled the plug suddenly, FXCM went out of business, El Pari went out of business. Why? They didn't put the trades of their clients into the interbanking system. They booked everybody, and they got caught with their pants down. I call up Traders Way. I'm like, oh my God, are you guys okay? FXCM's going out of business. Alpari's going out of business. Everybody's going out of the business in the world. How are you doing? And they're like, we're totally fine. I'm like, well, how are you guys finding they're going out of business? They're like, well, we don't hold any client trades. It's in the interbanking system. Our clients might lose money because they took a risky trade, but as a broker, we're fine because they said, hey, put this trade in the interbanking system. So we did. That's what we do. You're like, oh, good. Makes sense. So that's all I know is what has happened. Right? The biggest brokers went out of business, and a boutique broker, Traders Way, wasn't negatively affected at all. They just did what the client said. Hey, buy Euro Swiss franc. Okay. Okay. So anyways, all I know is what happened. That's all I know. Cool. So you see on this now, there's a few things going on. I've identified next week's resistance. Okay, we have this week's sell zone, but it's a step up. We don't like step ups. See, here's the week before. This is this week. But we're not even playing this week anymore. We're playing next week. So this week is already dead. We're not playing this week. We're playing next week. And this is the first opportunity right in there. And then you'll see inside of this, okay, you'll see inside of this, on the hourly chart for Bitcoin, if you look at the average price, currently the average price is right here. And really, you're looking at the change of average prices over time. You get a negative rise, aka a fall, over run. Okay? Run, not rum, sorry. So M equals negative rise over run. So again, the equation here for this is y equals mx plus b. Okay, m being the slope and b being the intercept. So now you can calculate the x and the y on the axes. And what this is telling you is technically the average, the mean, is sloping down. So you might interpret this. You don't have to interpret it this way. But you might interpret this as more negative than positive on this time frame over the periods you're measuring, which seem to be from about here. Okay? And then you can say, well, based on what price does in this time period, when it moved this far away from the average, it reverted back to the average. When it went this far away from the average, it reverted back to the average. So now that we're this far away from the average, it seems to have reverted back, or at least it did once already. And so now you have to choose. Okay, and this is now your alpha. All this is factual. Now this is, you have to choose. You have to make your own decision now. You believe it's going to head back down, but a bull might say, well, we already did that and we rejected. So a bull is going to connect all of this way, and then make a parallel line this way. So if you're a bull, that's what you're thinking. And that might be the daily 55. But see, the daily 55 predicts we are not going to go higher than 12,000. So you either sell now or you sell later if you're a bear. So this move here, making this bearish again, if you are a bear and it doesn't fall here, oops, that was supposed to be pink. As a bear, if it doesn't fall here, then it's going to fall up here. So you got your plan A and plan B, okay? And if you're a bull, you're thinking the downward move is over and we're going to work our way back from 11,000 all the way to like 20,000, whatever you're thinking. Oh, that's weird, Reb. I forget. I used to have a third-party software, and it was part of something else. I forget what it was. I think it was when I was watching institutional trades. I used to pay money, and I'd see like, like Credit Suisse trading their Forex, and I'd see a bunch, Morgan Stanley trading Forex. I used to see these institutional orders. I think part of that institutional package was third-party analysis of execution speeds. And the big ones that had hundreds of thousands of retail Forex traders, they jammed them all on the same server, right? They didn't spend any money on it. And they're like, yeah, it's retail, I guess, right? But Trader's Way, so what they did is they ranked them in order, right? And for some reason, the slowest ones are at the top, and the fastest ones are at the bottom. But anyways, the big ones, the big names you've heard before, they were actually very, very slow. And just, again, think about it. Imagine one server with 100,000 clients on it, one MT4 server or something. And then Trader's Way had significantly less clients. They're a small boutique firm, but the execution speed was extraordinarily more fast. Okay. So anyways, so that's all I know. Maybe have things changed over then? Maybe. But anyways, I don't have too many problems. Of course, here's the other thing. So I don't know your trading. So Reb says it seems to be a blue circle once in a while. You might be trading at the worst times when there's no liquidity. So I don't know. And I don't think you are, but that could be one of the things. You're like 2 seconds after NFP, you're like, oh, look at the number. Boom, buy. Well, dude, there is no market. That's why it would spin. There is no market. But when I'm trading, I go click. It's in. It takes a half a second. Okay. So, could be. Don't know. Maybe your ISP is slow. Maybe your computer's slow. I don't know. But the thing is, they're fast. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, but you don't know. Reb's been around. Reb's smart. So, who knows? So anyway, so that's how you'd put that together if you were looking at it from that point of view. So like the general idea now would be some version of this. Down to the 200 EMA next week. So now I'm talking about Wednesday of next week. Right? 6 days from now. We'll be here. 10,600. Yeah, so Reb, then it wouldn't matter. There wouldn't be any slippage, or if there was a small slip, uh, it would be inconsequential. If you're going for 333 pips on a swing, and you're like, oh my god, I paid 2.5 pips on an entry, you're fine, bro. Yeah. All right. Gold XAU, XAG, that's silver XAU. What say you? So again, we can start with a confluence analysis. Okay. And what does that say to you? Well, this is gold, by the way. So I don't know why there's no watermark on this one. I guess we'll just add one if I can turn my marker off. Insert indicator, custom. Which watermark? There's a couple of watermarks. Where's my other watermark? Do I have one? Problem is I don't know what it's called. I thought there was another watermark. Watermark. Okay, no, this one. No, 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 no. 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 No, 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 no. No, no, no. Huh. Thought I had one. Well, we'll try this one. And of course I don't want that. And I think it puts it in a weird place with a weird color and whatever. Let's see. I was going to set it permanently. Maybe I can find the color on a different setup. Yeah, let's do this one. What are these settings? One 180, 180, 180, 33, 33, 33. Okay, let's do that. See how much I have to mess with this stuff to get it just perfect for you guys? Okay, and now watch this. And I go template, save template. And this was Confluence. I'm going to update my Confluence. Do I want to replace it? Heck yeah. Cool. Now we got that set forever. Thank you for your patience. See, so what I can do is I can change the template to just show you a different one. Pivot points weekly. And that doesn't have a watermark. Interesting. Then I can change the template back to Confluence. And there's our watermark. All right. All right, so there's a lot of lines here. Of course, I'm not trading this. I'm analyzing, right? So I'm looking at two different time frames. I'm looking at weekly and monthly. And this is the plan big, expect small thing. So instead of getting to R2 before rolling over, it went to R1 and rolled over. And so now what? So this makes sense if you're a bull. But if you're a bear based on this and you believe it's the Russians, okay, you would look at this area here to get short. Now, we're not there now, so you'd have to say somewhere around 1950, you'd be on a small time frame. Hot to go, H-O-T-T-O-G-O. Okay, so we know 1950 is a number for you. And you're a bear, so let's change the bearishness to a swing bear. So here's swing trading bearish bias. Okay, so now we've changed the template again. And the first one was 1950. Got to get onto, okay. So here we go, check it out. 1950.71. So these are dynamic, they're moving, and they'll continue moving until the close on Friday afternoon. But looking at it that way, now you go back into the smaller time frame, and you know today you'll either scalp it off 1950 or you'll scalp it off 2000 if you're a bear. So you can do this today or that tomorrow on your itsy bitsy teeny weeny M5 currency trading charty. I don't know. So now you're set up strategically and you're getting ready tactically. Okay. You got a little there. That shouldn't be the big whoop. And your real one's up there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, how come there's 200 people watching and only 88 likes? Come on. Kick down, come clean. Don't be a holdout machine. By the way, if you've purchased my templates, my chart trading templates for MetaTraders over the last year, you're going to, I hope, maybe next week, get a couple of announcement emails and a couple other things and a couple of happy bonuses. And I might do a couple other things that I haven't done yet and make it even happier. So your $5 keeps getting more and more and more powerful. Yeah. Prince, you should use Bitcoin. For example, KG, yes, the price. Oh, wait, I don't want to say it until I announce it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So anyway, this is a surprise free upgrade will be announced next week. Hopefully, maybe this week, but I'm pretty busy this week. Maybe next week. I'm really busy. I know, it sounds like a broken record. But I'm going to bed at like 9 o'clock. I'm taking baths. My son's like, you took 2 baths in a row last night and tonight. I'm like, I know. It's a whole new world. What do I do? What do I do with all my free time? Yeah, it's amazing. I'm going to bed early. I'm taking baths. It's amazing. Peter says free upgrade for MetaTraders. The link is in the description below. Yes. Okay. Alex says, to what extent should I consider gold pivots and averages while trading silver? Are you talking about correlation? I don't know. I don't even know what the correlation is. I mean, I understand the macro forces would be very similar, but I don't have that data. As they say in Canada, it'd be very similar, only different. KG's like, I love those channels. I've been doing them manually. Oh, life's too short, KG. So why don't I just give them to you as a free upgrade? Compliments of the firm. Thank you for being beautiful. What do you think? That's a good deal, right? Or should I just have everyone pay $5 again? Yeah, I'll just give them to you. All right. I think that's it. I'm kind of done. I'm just kind of done. Things are moving, Oscar Mike. This is great. Great, great, great. You know where I am fundamentally. You know my fundamental bias. Kilogram, kg, kilo. Okay. So you know what I want, and you know where we are. And the interesting thing is, every day from today, trading conditions will get better. You Harvard men are amazing. Hey, the Harvard women are amazing. Huh? Come on. Right? A whoop whoop for the Radcliffe girls. There you go. There you go, Batman. Yes, you got to be inclusive for sure. So, anyways, I'm feeling really good about the future. I'm feeling really good about us. I'm feeling really good about Forex. I'm feeling really good about a lot of things. So, it's amazing what some sleep will do, huh? So anyways, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for us. I virtually love you. There's a woman in my Harvard class that runs the venture capital wing of a major children's hospital. And she says she loves investing in virtual care. And I'm like, well, that's amazing because I've virtually cared forever. It just sounded fun. I don't really care about it. Virtually care, right? So anyway, so I virtually love you as much as one can, meaning I care about you. I want you to succeed. I can see your future. I'm excited for your journey, and I can't wait to see if you actually do it. That's the big question mark. It's not an easy journey. It's a difficult journey, but at least you have my precious ring taking you on the path. Stay on the path. Stay on the path. Schmeagle. I love you, Gamgee Baggins. Anyways, yeah, too much sleep. I'm sorry, guys. So, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And what? See you tomorrow. You guys still here? Why are you still here? Profits of rage. Maybe we'll put the music back on, huh?